really hard. That was tactical and Thanatos with the poke damage. And also, even before the poke stage, Thanatos with the melee damage stage.
Yeah,
I still remember
round 1 KO on Gakgos.
Yeah.
Flowers, you know, when you're casting that, I like went back to look at the 1v1 as I was like, was there anything fishy going on to analyze here? And there was literally nothing.
No, he just
teleports in, he hits every ability, and Gakgos watches him and dies.
Yeah.
It was rough.
It reminded me of playing, you know, like you're playing a ladder game at 1 o'clock in the morning or something. One guy's not paying enough attention. He's like, just damn. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
On that one. Okay. Well, all right. Well, let's get into game number 2 because nobody likes a game 1 Andy.
No,
right?
no, we don't need that. We don't need that. This is the best of 3 region. Best of 3s. Let's see what we get here as C9 are on the blue side. FlyQuest electing to go for first pick. Shout outs, by the way, to producer Emin for adding this blue side first pick thing here in the draft. Absolutely.
Big E.
Yeah.
Big E. Exactly.
We're trying it out. I still like Big G better, but you know. Big E is pretty strong too.
Shout outs to you, Emmett. Thank you so much. Everybody on the production as well. As we do have Lucian, Olaf, Cassiopeia banned out by C9. FlyQuest getting rid of the Vayne, the Akali, and the Nocturne. As FlyQuest will get first pick in this one. They can't pick the Olaf for Gakgos. We're still paying the Olaf tax on the C9 side. What are we going to get instead? It is the Bard.
And yeah, another support that was still really heavily prioritized on the previous patch. Again, despite all the noise about how roaming supports, how Camille is taking over everything, Bard was still one of the most crucial supports on the patch, also because of his lane pressure and his ability to roam around the map very quickly. So we'll see what...
I will say,
usually, I do like a tactical Ziggs.
I will say, usually I don't like blind pick Bard, though. I usually like it way more if enemy is already showing hard engage that you can counter, or if they're showing like low mobility carries that you can get flashes out with your Bard ulti. But they really want it.
Yeah. I do like what we're seeing with the Shen hover. Yep, and the Shen is going to be locked in, presumably, for Vulcan down in that bot lane. I've actually really been enjoying the return of support Shen. I think he's super good into so many different matchups and also just allows that extra dimension in team fights. Like, not only is he really good at roaming, obviously you have the taunt, but then you have his global ultimate that's able to save your carries mid-team fight.
Yeah, and you can match some Bard plays across the map, too, as well. So we'll take a look, though. The Varus back on their side, Flowers.
Yeah, and I like Varus when the opponent is something like Shen, because Varus can do so much damage and still have impact with his abilities, not just his auto attacks. Chains of Corruption doesn't care about Spirit's Refuge. Piercing Arrow doesn't. Obviously, it can be harder to apply the Blight stacks when your auto attacks aren't landing, but at least it's not like you're Sivir or something, throwing boomerangs into a whole bunch of nothing.
I like it. People can't see, but Flowers was actually making the boomerang motion. As we see, the Ambessa locked in could still technically be flexed for Gryffin.
Yeah, and they might be more incentivized to do that because they did the Ambessa lock-in with Renekton up, and Renekton early is very good. Thanatos is an excellent Renekton player, so I would actually be on board with a swap to the Ambessa jungle at the moment.
Yeah. One thing I do like, though, returning a little bit to the Bard Varus, is the fact that I do appreciate that FlyQuest are recognizing how strong they can be in a 2v2 and how well they have the capability to play around that. Again, because I think it had been a strength of this team in Split 1 and Split 2, especially with how well Massu was playing. So we'll see how this game evolves, but I do like that at least in both of their drafts thus far, FlyQuest have recognized that as a point of power on the map, and a very important one given all of the stuff we always talk about with how important Drake stacking is.
All right, let's see what we get out of the second half of the draft as AP solo laners are targeted. The Silas banned away by the FlyQuest side. Rumble removed by C9, as they will also continue paying respects to Gryffin Shyvana with that last ban.
Yeah, and I appreciate the respect paid to Gryffin. I also appreciate the Rumble ban recognizing, as we already pointed out, that Ambessa can be going in the jungle. for Gryffin as well, and that they might want to flex it into a counter pick for Gakgos.
And you kind of have to ban the Shyvana ban is a response actually to seeing Sylas ban, because that sets you up. Shyvana ult is one of the best ults to steal. So if they're banning Sylas, you get a little fishy here. Something's going on. We definitely don't want to give over a really good Shyvana angle. And so they're going to deny that one as well. And then the Jarvan here kind of giving the opportunity for a lot of those early game plays, especially with a Shen support with you. It's definitely a very strong combo.
And I didn't note it until the hover, but Poppy has been pretty much banned in so many matches, right? And that will be going over to Blaber, presumably. I mean, they could technically, I guess, flex the Shen into jungle as well. But I'm assuming it's going to be Jhin, Shen, and then Poppy saving that counter pick for Loki in the mid lane.
Yeah, and now Cloud9 are set up with double counters on Ambessa. You've got Renekton for lane counter, and you have Poppy for all game dashes counter later on as well, to make it more difficult for the Ambessa to play regardless of what lane she goes to. But especially if you are jungle, then it makes it easy for Blaber to match. So whether the Ambessa goes top or goes jungle, Cloud9 are preparing quite a few answers.
Tough game for Noxie and Grandma. We'll see how well she can navigate it, or if she'll need the walker by the end of this one. FlyQuest going to go ahead, lock in that Syndra there for the mid lane for quad. And we do get the Zaahen.
Yeah, here we go. So Gryffin takes the Ambessa. Blaber's going to match the Ambessa with the Poppy, try and keep her grounded. And it's a Locke angle for the dive. Now, to really help out divers like this, I do like when you have a setup similar to this. You have a Shen to go in on the Locke. You get huge value out of getting that extra shield as well, because you're just trying to get a reset for the Locke. And if you have Jhin 4th shot burst damage, you have lots of bruisers to go in with the Locke as well, then honestly, this is one of the looks I do like to try and build it up. I will say the stats worldwide for tier 1 play for Locke have not looked great.
Bit of rough.
Faker had a good one, but overall the win rate is very low after the nerfs to the champion. But you know what? I want to see when teams can make it work effectively. I still think the burst damage is insane. The reset power of this champion is crazy. And if you have a lot of dive to go with it, then I'm a believer.
Yeah, the most important thing is the comp that C9 have built around the Locke, right? Like Shen, really, really great. Poppy, really, really great. You just have even Renekton stun, right? You have so much setup for the Locke to be able to move around freely in these fights, get those resets. So it still will rely on them to be able to set it up. But for right now, there's a lot of CC that can be layered so Loki can kind of just go crazy.
And I want to see if they can get active early around Loki, because remember, as long as you get the kills using the ultimate, using Purgatory, you get that permanently increased execution threshold. Ranks in the skill take it from 10%, 11%, 12% respectively of target's maximum health, but you get an extra 0.5% for every kill you get. So 2 kills equals an extra ults rank worth of damage. As immediately into the bottom lane, we are getting some action. Massu has lost half his HP here at the very start, as Vulcan and Tactical are ready to play this one aggressively.
Yeah, Tactical got to fire off a full round, all 4 bullets here. That is a lot of damage in early trade. Another 4th shot?
Yup, Masu's health bar is hurting, man.
Yeah, and I think it's so important when these last 2 teams met in that game 5 in spring. It was the bot lane that made the huge difference as Vulcan goes in for another taunt. But I want to talk about the roster, right?
Okay.
Because we're promised a 7-man roster. We have not seen 2 of the men.
Yeah. Where are the men?
On the 7-man roster, and it's at this point, I just think it's a 5-man roster.
Yeah, it effectively has been a 5-man roster since the changes, but I guess we'll see as it goes on. You know, we continue to check in on Cloud9. Loki here with another trade. Locke's wave clear also is very, very good and super easy to use. I highly recommend it if you're playing with a friend who's not that great at CSing, because you just
I got a lot of those.
Yeah, throw all the nails through the wave flowers, and then go for your E in there, and you're all good. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, I mean, we did talk about how much damage was being thrown out in the push for Cloud9, but Vulcan had also used his flash to get that initial play going for them, so there is possibly a world where the flashless Shen gets punished, and he is kind of low health at the moment as they go for the blue steal.
Okay, Loki does get hit with the scat of the week, but oh no, it's first blood already over to Tactical as C9 bring Blaber and both bottom laners for the invade. They get the punish on the enemy support and Cryogen is down.
I love when you do stuff like this with the Poppy. Blaber goes for the aggressive invade and he doesn't hesitate to flash stun into the wall.
Yeah, I really love how aggressively C9 have been playing out this early game overall, right, Kobe? Like, they set it up so well with the aggression from Vulcan Shen at level 1 to take over this bot side. And this is just such a well-coordinated, aggressive blue buff invade. You see Vulcan's immediately there for the taunt. Follow-up. Tactical is my favorite emote in the game, the take notes emote. But yeah, successful steal.
Yeah, I mean, they had so much CC available to them that it doesn't matter that they layer it all at the same time. They don't have to, like, wait and space out, oh, and Deadly Flourish and Taunt and blah, blah, blah. No, they just
throw it.
They throw everything, flash stun them into the wall, instant Taunt, instantly into the Deadly Flourish, and instantly dead there with the kill. And exactly, I mean, that's why you set up these plans where you get the aggressive play with your lane on bot side so you can push in, so you can go help and supplement with this, invade for Blaber. And it is a little demonstration of what we're talking about, why we like the setup that Cloud9 have drafted for with Locke, even though that was not with Locke. All the CC is on display. All of the possibilities there for the setup are on display on bursting down a target.
Yeah, and as we see C9 still being very, very aggressive in bot lane trading. But I also like this recognizes something that they're basically like, okay, we know you want to keep picking these pushing bot lanes. We know you want to shove us in, and countering that with the hard CC with multiple stun abilities into the blue buff invade. I just really like the thoughtfulness from the way that C9 want to play out this composition, at least early on in this game.
Okay, C9 off to the start that they want. Meanwhile, on the FlyQuest side, we do not have any solo deaths in the top lane here early on. Zaahen, obviously a very scaling, powerful champion, whereas Renekton, we know him for his early dominance, and then late game, obviously all about finding the angles and the value targets there in those team fights. But although Thanatos does have a small lead here in the lane, it's not like what we saw last time. The first teleports have been completed on both sides. Those are pretty much synced up. Nobody's dead yet. It's kind of just locked in this stalemate of farm, 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 farm.
Farm, 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 and Thanatos is getting more of the farm.
Yeah. And he's pushing in the wave.
And he's level 6 advantage because of the pushing wave. However, he's a bard down, so +1 level, -1 support for Thanatos, and he doesn't care, still gets the turret plate money. Well played.
And you could see that even though Cryogen doesn't actually jump out and do anything up there in that top lane, he does leave 2 of the hot Cocos that aren't actually Cocos because he's not the Christmas one. But he leaves those in the brush. That'll be a little bit of extra healing there for Gakgos. Little flower petals. Okay, cool. I like that. That's thematic.
You just made me realize that I automatically call it hot cocoa because
same.
Also, I did not for 1 second did I believe that Flowers likes the flower petals nearly as much as he likes the hot cocoa. He's like, yo, I like it. I'll take some tea.
Yeah, I do like the flower petals.
True.
They're kind of like, that's one of my things.
It's
like
cute.
with scorpions and flowers. Those are my
And
things.
you drink a lot of hot honey water here, when you're casting as well, so it's kind of similar.
Very important. Bard left me these.
Bard, exactly.
Yeah.
Bard dropping off Flowers some honey waters for his throat.
Shout out to our bards, the PAs.
Yeah. Shout out to all the bards that make this show possible.
Honestly, yes. Meanwhile, what happened bot lane, because the Bard was topside, was that C9 is actually able to pick up that first Drake again, going hand in hand with their early game plan as
Ooh, immediately they drop the taunt onto Massu, who tries to get away, but he can't sidestep the deadly flourish. The Varus is dead again. Tactical uses his cleanse to make sure that they're getting back away. Cryogen goes on a magical journey, trying to come through the wall and do something back. He's got Quad behind him. Tactical should be dead to rights here. Vulcan does manage to get away. Tactical, there's no way out of this. You just kind of got to decide how this is going to go down. And
get another minion.
It's going to go down like this. Tactical does manage to get one last minion as he is shut down with the kill credit going over to Quad.
That's what you got to think about those times, you know. People are like, oh, on your deathbed, your life flashes before your eyes. No, money flashes before your eyes. You need to scramble for as many minions as you possibly can get before you die.
That's what I'm going to think about when I'm laying there. Just like, I should have got that extra minion. I should have cleared an extra camp.
Grind set, Flowers.
Your network is your net worth, Kobe.
I need one more minion before I die.
Sorry.
I need you guys to, like, never mind. I was going to say something really morbid for the future. Now we have Vulcan up.
Well, maybe this is something really morbid. C9.
We're just joking here. Live full lives, everyone, you know.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the money.
Unless you want to. If you want to focus on your minions and your money, live your life. That's part of living your life, too. C9's living their life. They're focused on Gakgos' life and making sure that it's hell. They want him away from this turret. They want him away from those minions. You are allowed to have no EXP, no fun, no money, nothing.
Yeah. And I do really love this rotation up by C9, you know, swapping their bot lane, taking advantage of zoning Gakgos completely away from this turret and being able to snatch up all 3 grubs as well. Again, just a really nice little quick play, and also continuing to really make Gakgos' life not fun. I feel like he hasn't really had a lot of fun in these 2 games.
He's living a full life, okay? We don't know what what he finds fun. Maybe
there's a Mother Kobisa over here saying that suffering is the most important part of life.
Exactly.
Just like
do hard things, Flowers, then you'll benefit in the long run.
Okay, all right. Kobe's taking the monk approach here.
It
looks like
here.
Thanatos could be in some danger. Arrives back into lane, but immediately has the support of his teammate there. Vulcan with the stand united. Does not want to allow Thanatos to immediately face a bad lane state with Gryffin waiting for that teleport arrival. Honestly, good looks from Vulcan there as Thanatos returns to normal form from Dominus at 95% HP.
It's been good looks from Vulcan all series so far as well. You know, all these flashes on the bottom lane, trying to make some plays for his team, getting the opportunities there for Cloud9. Regardless, though, gold is at parity. It's just the extra dragon and grubs that Cloud9 will have to show for the early stages of the game.
Ooh, another one there from Thanatos. Quick, snappy trade, and Gakgos is again on the back foot. Vulcan is looking good. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, you're going to look even better because everybody knows that you're the real deal.
The cycle of looking good.
I thought you were going to tie it in the potential assist record, but we've had a little bit less blood thus far in this early game, even with the kind of setups we were talking about from C9. But I really like, more importantly, I do think Vulcan's timing around the map has been quite good.
Yeah, now he's got some extra roam time here as well, so make a visit towards mid lane. Thank you very much for the check-in. We need 18 more to tie, but we're not really about tying around here. We're about winning. So, and Afromu currently is not playing. Maybe he comes back, but...
Well, I also don't think that Cryogen's really playing a lot right now either, as he is caught in the enemy jungle, trying to do what Bard does, roam around a little bit, instead gets immediately punished. But now Blaber, the same fate. He stays alive for now, flashes back over the wall, tries to stay alive there with a point-blank keeper's verdict, but Gryffin gets the kill before he dies to Loki in trade. You could see there the ultimate also used from Loki, that Purgatory gets dropped, so he is going to get the extra buff on that passively as he returns back to lane. So now we're getting a little bit more action. Now it's a little bit more high octane.
Yeah, as Vulcan pushes up on this bot side, looks like both teams are going to wait for their junglers to come back. Ooh, I love this vision toggle.
Yeah, this is Cryogen vision.
Yeah.
As he's going in for his play. Oh, I'm just a bard setting up some vision. Oh, shoot!
There's a Poppy here. Where's that come
Blaber's
from?
camping the blast cones again.
Yeah, and then as we speed through, I like that they recognize that we can go immediately in onto the Blaber, right? But this also sets up for Loki's second kill, which puts him in a really good little early spot.
Apollo,
like Cryogen, did not realize Blaber was in the bush.
That was great.
I do like to. So Locke also, Loki wants to go pick up the skull, so you get your extra cooldown back a little bit refunded for the ultimate too. So we can keep the pace of the action. 2-0 on the Locke. 4 stacks as he had the Dark Seal very early. So if we're building a comp and we're playing for Locke and we're going to get these resets and have this burst damage, it's been a pretty good recipe so far for Cloud9. They even have the little passive bonus of the first Infernal Drake, the little Infernal Drake bonus for the extra bit of damage to get him low enough and reset.
You know what I like to see, Kobe, is a Hex Tech Rift. I just think because there's so many fun setups that I think both of these teams can try to do
Emily
to
just
get
wants more blood.
onto each other's carries. I always want more blood.
Well, I feel like, though, if you're Bard, you're actually kind of pissed off when it's Hex Tech Rift because they're kind of stealing your whole thing.
That was my thing.
Yeah, your whole thing is you run through walls and do all this cool repositioning out of nowhere, but now everybody can do it. As you can see, Cryogen taking his recall, but in a hidden spot just in case there's the opportunity to do anything bottom lane, but Loki's not going to give him that opportunity. 1-to-1 in Drakes here early on. C9 having all 3 grubs in this second game compared to FlyQuest having them in the previous one, as Blaber shows up here in the top side. Thanatos does have his Dominus ready to cast if they want to try to go for the dive, and it's
here
a
comes
full
the squad.
C9 party. Balloons, streamers, they probably even got a DJ for this one. Gakgos trying to just clear out the wave. There's Grim Deliverance as he tries to escape, but nothing's going to deliver you away from 4 people. C9 with the top lane dog pile. Get there, man.
Gakgos is like, great, a party. What'd you guys get me?
Yeah. No, endless CC.
That's what I wanted.
Thank you.
That's when you wish you could return to the store.
You guys, you really shouldn't have.
Yeah, no. Off of that, though, I do like the response from Quad and Gryffin down here, right? Like getting that first turret onto Quad, who was able to pick up that kill in bot lane earlier on. So having your Syndra in a good spot, also great. And then Tactical cleaning up that topside turret.
Ooh, Cryogen goes for the Tempered Fate. He misses that and the Cosmic Binding. Thanatos staying alive for now, but remember, there was no Dominus. So as soon as Gryffin commits the public execution, it is exactly that. They get the kill on Thanatos, but now Gryffin, Cryo, and Quad all got to try to get away as Loki and Vulcan make their way towards this bottom side of the map. Massu cuts off Vulcan's ability to try to interfere with a nice little rain of arrows, and that means nothing else is going to happen. So FlyQuest, like we're saying, they get first turret. They grab themselves the extra kill in retaliation. Now Blaber's coming in mid, trying to find something on to Massu. Point blank Keeper's Verdict forces the flash, but nothing more as the Rift Herald finally spawns 15 minutes in.
Yeah, even though, Gakgos has been enjoying his struggles up in the top lane, really, FlyQuest playing around Quad and Gryffin is their recipe for this game. Huge burst damage for both of those champions, and the bot lane play does result in some success for them to keep their lead, keep the long lane nice and open on the bottom side of the map. Cloud9, good response, pick up the Herald. That's always good for a couple plates. So at least, well, I say that and there's a Bard on the enemy team. Maybe it's not that good for a couple plates. We'll see about Cryogen's positioning, if he can be there and be ready for a Rift Herald play.
I mean, isn't that so annoying? In game number 1, your Rift Herald gets stopped by a Azir wall. Now in game number 2, you're up against Bard. It is both the FU Rift Herald champions in back-to-back games in the same best of 3.
Yeah. Rift Herald is just like, man, I wanna have fun too.
Poor Rift Herald. There was even with all the parties happening, Rift Herald doesn't even get to have fun.
It's true.
You just have to be smart about when you use it. You see Cryogen on the bottom side of the
and then you drop it mid or something.
If you know where, you don't invite Cryogen to the party, basically. If you're the Rift Herald.
Dirty. Sorry, Cryogen.
Yeah, Rift Herald is telling everybody.
You must have lost your invite in the mail.
Yeah. So we're going to have a secret party?
We got another party now in the Cloud9 jungle.
Ooh.
Unleashed power delivered straight to Vulcan's doorstep thanks to the Gryffin delivery service there for the public execution. That's FlyQuest grabbing themselves their 4th kill of the game. As C9 steps forward, FlyQuest, despite being down in kills, are up 1,000 gold as a team. And that gold lead is all in this mid-jungle duo. It's all the Quad Gryffin show.
Yep, keep playing off of these 2 high damage champions there. Good burst damage. Vulcan trying to just face check his own territory, retake your own jungle here, but walking in already had very good position for FlyQuest, and that sets them up for the Hextech Dragon here. They can use the gates to reset, get back out, and try and make an incision. Honestly, you have to be very careful about the opening of this fight because there is so much emphasis on bursting down a target. Gryffin, he doesn't have his ult, and nor does Quad, because they just used it to kill Vulcan, though, for the dragon fight, so maybe they call it off.
Yeah, I think that's why you do see Gryffin kind of hovering around. Just as I say that.
Yeah, Gryffin was hovering around, but Vulcan was ready to try to answer. Now Tempered Fate defensively coming out from Cryogen. C9's attack has not worked out thus far. Gryffin still getting away for now. Loki going in, finds the first kill there for the killing spree. Vulcan gets away now too, but Loki's got to be careful. Double kill, lands with the Cryogen, but it is mopped up as Quad gets one back. Now Blaber's got to be careful. Massu chasing him down. Can't quite do enough damage. It's a 2-for-1 so far, favoring Cloud9 as they also claim the Drake.
Yeah, really messy there. I was a little concerned until Loki was able to start cleaning up those kills, even though he falls. But more crucially, they do come away with that 3rd Drake. So despite... Quad searching for Blaber.
Yeah, Blaber tackles away to the red buff to keep himself safe from Quad's attack, and then Vulcan and Tactical show up. Quad gets a little bit too hyphy, goes into the enemy jungle solo, tries to get something on the Blaber there. He had unleashed power, maybe he's hoping for the assassination, but instead immediately shut down.
Yeah, as we take a look at this Drake fight, Gryffin kind of hanging around, Vulcan coming in with the taunt. This is a really nice Bard ult from Cryogen to kind of delay things, but then as they try to get back onto Gryffin, Locke, Loki ends up opening up on Locke. Quad getting a few kills on the back end is huge too. I mean, both of these mid laners are such crucial points for their teams.
And you can see
neither coaching staff looks particularly happy about that one.
During the replay, I want to point out for the picture-in-picture for anybody who wasn't watching, the Herald was summoned up during the replay and it charged into the tier 1 turret without being Bard interrupted. So they did manage to get at least their 2 plates worth of value out of the Rift Herald there on the C9 side. I still got to wonder what was Quad thinking, though, at the end there, because that just seems so risky.
He was thinking, I'm Syndra. Every jungler hates me because I yoink away camps all the time. So I'm going to annoy another jungler, but he was way out of line, Flowers. Not this time. Justice for the junglers that have been annoyed by Syndra all this time.
I mean, I like it. I hate when Syndra does that. Walk up and yoink the giant buff and throw it into Timbuktu. No. This time, you are punished for your hubris as Quad ends up dying. That was his first death all game. 3-1-2 here on that pick. 100% kill participation so far. Obviously, still a very good game overall for him. But across the aisle, it's Loki 4-1-0 on that Locke. Highest individual kills in the game between either team, as he does have his Chovy Belt plus his Lich Bane both completed. So the burst damage is intense.
Yep, and we'll see C9 just kind of trying to push in this bot wave with the Renekton, try to reclaim mid control as Massu continues pushing with this Varus. Vulcan looks like he might be fishing for something. I feel like this C9 comp is always just really trying to force FlyQuest into a situation where they can layer their CC and take someone out. But FlyQuest are making a really nice move up here.
Yeah, this is a 4-man push from FlyQuest, hungry for that turret crust. They're going to knock off half of the HP, but then immediately back
Delicious.
I
Yummy
love
crust.
some turret crust.
They can do that because Massu does have teleport on the Varus. So Massu is pushing mid and Thanatos pushing bottom. Thanatos actually gets all the way up to the turret plates, but they're going to teleport on him to make a trap play.
All right, it's Massu. plus Gakgos.
He's out.
And Thanatos says, all right, teleport for sure. Just goes back up to the top lane, immediately regroups with his own mid laner.
All right, yeah, anytime you try and make a teleport play on the top laner, if they see it in time and they saw Gakgos channeling that teleport down bottom, he can just use his own as an exit out to the top side for Loki, but...
All right. FlyQuest wrapping around here, wanting to make the play towards Loki, who goes over the wall, gets himself away for now, throwing some ritual nails towards Gryffin, but Scout of the Week finds a target, public execution, going after the mid laner, and Loki has already been assassinated. Tempered Fate to try to save Gryffin as Thanatos disengages. There's not enough damage here from C9 to finish off Gryffin, and the play ends up working out for Fly so far. Now the curtain call has opened up. FlyQuest have got to make sure they protect the VIPs. They do just that. +1 Fly on the play.
Yeah, what a really nice public execution coming out of Gryffin. We talked about one of the reasons why I thought the Ambessa might be flexed wasn't just because of the matchup, but because he is so comfortable on it. And also the Bard stun coming out just in time.
Careful here, they're gonna look you. They're gonna look you for sure.
You want on me? Tight.
I'm not coming,
no flash.
I'm not coming.
Wait, can you help me? No flash? No, look, lock.
Lock.
Okay, there.
Lock that.
Renekton on me.
Renekton. I'm hitting Renekton, okay?
Look to run. Look to run.
I'm pushing.
I'm fine.
Oh, back to live immediately. We got a problem as Massu is down. Tactical claims the kill in that one. FlyQuest losing their AD carry out of the replay. I really like this 1-2 punch they have, though, between the Ambessa setup and the Syndra follow-up. Any single target that gets caught by both of those abilities is nearly guaranteed to be dead. But a replay now as we look back at what happened to Massu over there in the mid lane that led to this Drake take for C9. It's just Blaber. He's got Deadman's. He's got the steadfast presence. He gets Masu's attention, and then it's Vulcan who ends up pulling the trigger for the engage. That enables C9 to take this Drake uncontested. They are now on sole point on this Hex Tech rift that you mentioned earlier, Emily, and that is a scary prospect for FlyQuest in 5 minutes.
Yeah, even with all of these, again, we talked about these teams trading blows. They're constantly trading sides of the map. This ended up being such a good play from C9 because of the Vulcan collapse. Getting onto Massu, who was pushed pretty far up because he did have backup coming out of the FlyQuest jungle. However, that is going to put C9 on sole point, and also they were able to pick up that bot lane tier 1 as well.
Yeah, Blaber and Vulcan have been so active this whole game. Poppy and Shen, really great facilitators. And once you get Deadman's,
Ooh, Chains of Corruption and Tempered Fate both shot out. The Chains missed, but Fate does not. Blaber going to be your target in the middle of 4. Keeper's Verdict tries to buy enough time, but Blaber is already down. Meanwhile, back over in mid, Quad could be in some danger. Vulcan locks him up, but there's no follow-up damage. FlyQuest going to walk away with a +1 so far on this one. They have a 5-man group here in the mid lane. The tier 1 turtle died to a single auto attack. Massu grabs that one. Baron is live on the map, and FlyQuest path their way towards it.
Just as we're talking about, Blaber, good pickoff on the Varus in mid lane, then he gets picked. Just the edge of Cryogen's ultimate. The Bard caught him, and now they're on Baron, drawing Cloud9 in.
Okay, C9, what's it going to be? Thanatos taking the Hex Gate. He's behind the Baron pit wall now. Gakgos jumps over, chasing towards the Crocodile. Thanatos needs to make some distance, and he slices over the wall and finds Massu, who has to flash just to try to stay alive. Quad is killed instead. Beautiful moves from Thanatos to force a critical summoner spell out of one carry and kill the other.
Thanatos with the 5-head Mega Mind Crocodile play. He flanks all the way around, and he gets so much value that is insane. The entire team comes to try and chase him, but not only does he get summoner spells, he kills a key carry, and he earns his team the Baron. Thanatos, the savior of Cloud9, until we're inevitably a Baron steal flowers.
Yep, hold on now. FlyQuest is still willing to challenge. They're coming up as a 4-man unit. Keep your eyes on Gryffin as he wants to go into the pit. Gakgos is in here providing a little bit of vision. Baron down to 2,000 HP. Secured by Gryffin. FlyQuest take the objective. They are going to lose their jungler for it, but they will happily take the trade.
You knew it with the way this series is gone, Flowers. Inevitably, it's got to be a Baron steal after that.
It has to be.
On one hand we give, in the other hand we take.
It feels like that's been happening all series, right? As we take a look at this Thanatos play, everyone just goes after Thanatos. He pops Dominus, almost assassinates Massu, and then Vulcan is immediately there for the taunt onto Quad. And then let's take a look at how Gryffin is able to get in here.
He just flashes in there. He tried to ult in first. and then he just flashes in to be able to get it afterwards, steals it away. That was crazy too on the chase. FlyQuest, when they're chasing Thanatos, they're 2 low mobility carries separate from everyone else to do the cutoff on the bottom side of the map. And Thanatos is like, great!
Cool!
The Syndra and the Varus have been isolated themselves on the other side of this red pit. Perfect. But then it turns around, they steal it on the side of FlyQuest, and we're right back into the action, Flowers.
So, the important thing that comes up next is in less than a minute and a half, the Hex Soul will spawn for C9. The gold is pretty much dead even. FlyQuest do command the Baron for 20 seconds beyond when that dragon spawns, which should help them a lot in being able to set up first around the objective.
Yeah, and you already see them doing it, right? Like they pushed in that bot wave. Cryogen is moving in to get some vision down. Look at all of that vision control. I might have thought, I was like, is Blaber going to go for it? Is he? He has Loki there, but they're just going to end up clearing out the ward. But this should, as Cryogen is resetting, give them a really nice setup for this potential Hextech Soul for C9.
They're going to make a play on top side here. Look at the Jhin positioning. It was pinging to try and pick off the Zaahen. Now they pull it right back off. They have the defensive vision, so Jhin is rotating back towards... Well, they're actually deciding at the moment. He rotates now back towards the mid lane. They're looking at Massu.
Okay, Tactical and Vulcan wrapping around here. Massu immediately pops the Ghost Blade to create a little bit of extra distance. He's got Gryffin and Cryogen right beside him. Teleports arriving now for Thanatos and Gakgos both. Everybody's ready for the Hex Soul party. Blaber jumps in. He immediately charges towards Massu, but he has no backup here just yet. Loki's right on top of him. They've already assassinated the Varus. Loki trying to get away for now. Gryffin on the chase, but he can't quite find the kill. Gakgos in the middle of everyone. Grim Deliverance. He's trying to charge Determination, but he is not determined enough. 3 dead on the FlyQuest side. C9 don't lose anybody. Blaber with a tackle forward into the wall. Gryffin trying to fight his way out of this one, but Thanatos has arrived. Loki's still here for the follow-up damage. Griffin's just trying to get away, but no. Loki jumps in, stays alive just barely, but barely's gonna do it. C9 absolutely slammed the fight 4-0. They're gonna take the Dragon Soul right after.
Every time I think C9 have gone in too far, it feels like Vulcan is there with a follow-up taunt onto these targets that Blaber is isolating. This was really, really risky, in my opinion, but they just have so much CC. As soon as Blaber sees the angle, he's immediately on to Massu, and then Loki is in, Vulcan is in there. Loki manages to survive. Gryffin is not able to get onto him. And then they immediately turn on to Gakgos in the top side of the fight.
Yeah, Massu positioned himself right against the wall. And you got to know, since you burned your flash over the red buff last time, they're talking about it.
Oh, man. That's it.
Oh, that's a good
when the dive combo works, man, when the dive combo hits, I mean, all they have to do, you saw it, it's a flashless Varus, okay, against the wall. Blaber's eyes get huge. He's like, oh my God, the Varus is against the wall. Goes in, dead man play, goes for the flash stun. They get the Locke ultimate to tag him for the execute, and look at that mountain of gold for Cloud9.
We talked about how dangerous the CC setup can be with this Locke being able to freely move in these fights. I have loved this series thus far. Like, it feels like whenever I think someone is going to win, the other team responds.
Well, C9 is now going to continue pushing their lead forward. FlyQuest grouped up defensively. They know they have to deal with this Hex Soul now. It provides C9 so much more power as Thanatos loses a good chunk of his HP, down to about half here on the Renekton, but Blaber is looking to re-engage. Thanatos with the dominance. Gakgos here on the front line, but Thanatos doesn't want him. The Tempered Fate locks up multiple players here from both sides, and Quad is already down. That's the carry Syndra. That's the fed FlyQuest player. C9 gets one, they get themselves right back out. FlyQuest still scrambling, trying to defend as Tactical puts a bullet in the back of Cryogen's head. That's a 2-0 play for C9.
You can see how much damage this Hextech Soul is doing in that fight too. Tactical now is going to be able to clean up this topside turret, and things are looking really good for C9, Kobe.
They certainly are. The snowball is in full effect with the Hextech Soul. I mean, it is really difficult to stop this because there's such long-range setup from the Jhin, and everybody has dive here for Cloud9 with the setup, with the Dead Man's Plate on Poppy is just going to run at you. So FlyQuest, they don't have a lot of safety on the map. And checking anywhere out as far as Baron is definitely off the table. So we expect Cloud9 to continue to snowball this game, grab their Baron, and then look to finish the job at the FlyQuest base. Maybe even before then, they've got eyes on Massu, who again has no flash here, just a Ghost Blade to run for his life.
Yup, but he does do a good job sidestepping away from the taunt as Loki wanting to step up to grab the kill on Massu, instead just immediately blasted by Quad. That's a pretty big shutdown for FlyQuest, for the player that already had most of the money. So FlyQuest will stem this tide for now. They're going to have to wait until Loki's back alive for C9 to do anything more.
And crucially, that stops this push, right? As we take a look at this earlier fight with Thanatos getting rooted up, taking a whole bunch of damage. And I was just counting how many Hextech procs were in this, but really nice engage from Thanatos. The response from the Bard, but again, C9 just have so much CC follow-up going in, and tactical. Whoop.
Kerblam.
Yeah, it's really hard to protect carries like Syndra and Varus, even if you have Bard Ultimate. You saw there, Syndra is already chunked within the duration of the stun, the flash from Thanatos. He's able to chunk her down to kill range for a Jhin shot lethal. And yeah, they Bard Ultimate to make one of the Jhin shots miss, but then she just dies as soon as she comes out of the Zhonya's anyways, and does go down. That quote there, Flowers, about FlyQuest, making worlds, looks less and less likely as they lose to the top teams of the LCS. Yes, their schedule has been very difficult. Team Liquid and Lion are top teams. Losing to them is really rough, but now here against Cloud9, they're on the precipice of losing here as well.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's looking at Liquid and Lion as the top two right now, but Gakgos wrapping around from the side, trying to find the angle here to enter into the fight, tackled back into the wall instead. Determination mostly filled, but not quite there. The bar's not red yet. There he goes with the Grim Deliverance. Gakgos in the middle of everybody as Vulcan has to try to get away. Blaber and Thanatos still here on the front line. Tactical opens up the curtain call. Quad wants to escape, but he's trapped in purgatory, and he goes to hell. Blaber continues to charge forward as Loki gets a double kill and Massu falls. A triple kill for the Locke. Loki is popping off, but Thanatos denies the penta as he cuts Gryffin down himself. Only one left standing on FlyQuest. It's Gakgos alone. C9 simply went past him. It didn't matter that he had the positioning that he needed. C9 found the fight they wanted. Now they have the march straight into the enemy base. They are going to force down these Nexus turrets without much of a fight from Gakgos. There's nothing that the Zaahen can do. C9, 2-0, dominate the head-to-head against FlyQuest.
Cloud9 are heating up in summer, adding Tactical and Loki to the team. Looking quite good in this series. I really like the comp around Locke as well.